He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Dark Side Drive-In.
It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another horrifying, mortifying, possibly fortifying episode of the Darkside Drive-In Intermission. I'm your announcer, Darkside Dave. Even though that's not my real name, I have other lore that will slowly be revealed throughout other episodes, so that's a little tease for stuff coming along. But we are joined by the cool ghouls who like Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School. Your hosts, Stefan.
Hey, Darkside Dave, or whatever your real name will be revealed to be later on in a lore dump.
And Shane.
Triple Lindy, baby.
All right, now I'm going to go outside and leave. Bye.
Step away, walk away, walk away, walk away. Door shut. The engine turns over. He's gonna slam in the back of his Dragula, and he's gone. Or is he? He might come back later. We never know.
Is he gone? Okay.
He's like Bill from Intruder. He can just teleport back in whenever he wants.
Hey, you know, the economy is getting pretty tight right now, so we need to have a little talk about
Darkside Dave, if we can keep Venmoing him every week or every 2 weeks.
Oh man, I love that. That's funny.
Maybe he'll accept alternative forms of payment, like I don't know, like bones. I don't know. Really know what his actual aesthetic is because I don't see him right now. He's
Souls.
Yes, I demand spirits from beyond.
Dave, you can't just walk back in here when I'm in the middle of a sentence.
No.
Oh man.
So, anyways, on these Darkside Drive-In Intermission episodes, rather than what we usually do, or I guess now what we do every other week, is where we talk about a movie usually from the 80s, but sometimes the 70s, sometimes the 90s. No. The Intermission, we can do whatever we want. Usually whatever I want, most of the time. As if we don't also usually do whatever I want anyway. But this time, very much so, because I have a segment in mind. You have some stuff you want to talk about. We're going to go through what is leaving Tubi, because there's a lot of stuff leaving at the end of June. It's going to be a devastation, an absolute devastation for the nation of Brazil. So, but without further ado, I'll let you get started with housekeeping.
Yeah. Oh man. Those people in Brazil. Quick housekeeping. We have, I know I've talked about it before, Sir Cheddarworth's Roundtable. They have recorded and are in the final stages of finishing some stuff. So fans of the channel, of Dynamis, should hear something soon from them. AGB going strong. He just started the Elden Ring DLC, which I'm going to get into in a couple of minutes. He's still streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He had a whole event planned, so if you missed it, you can go to his YouTube channel. And speaking of YouTube channels, that we also have another YouTube channel, the Low Key Arcade, and I am actually going to play some upcoming horror games. So I requested access to a play, or like an early play test of a game called Exiler, and I'm going to hopefully record and have that done this week. So stay peeled to that. Summer Games Fest just happened. So if any of you that are into gaming probably saw the news with the Xbox conference, all that fun stuff. One game that I want to put on everyone's radar is the Forever Winter. And it's like a looter shooter PvE kind of game where there's like really badass enemies that are like kind of like who you would normally play. And then you're just like kind of like normal people like scavenging to survive. So I think definitely give that a look. Yeah, it's kind of cool. And that's how they're marketing it too. I highly recommend everybody go look at the gameplay trailer. It looks so sick.
So if you want to see that, navigate to your web browser, type http://www.youtube.com, hit enter, go to the search bar, click on that, search for the video that you want to find, and then it'll be there.
Yeah, at least you didn't say like Yahoo or like
Alta Vista.
Ask Jeeves, Alta Vista. What was the other one we used to do when we were kids in school?
Lycos?
It was like the Globe. Lycos?
No,
yeah, there was another one too.
Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, so check that game out. I think people that are into horror might like it. I've also been playing the new Elden Ring DLC. I know Souls-likes aren't directly horror related. You know, it's not a horror game, but they're kind of horror adjacent, different types of frightening things happening to you. I will say everyone says how hard it is. I've been playing it. I haven't been challenged too much, but you know, I don't know. Just I think it's fun. If you like Elden Ring, I think you should check it out. It's a pretty awesome DLC, and it's literally a whole new map. So I mean, it's basically a new game. So yeah.
Cool.
And I think that's all I had.
Elden Ring. Yeah, everyone's been talking that up. It's getting like perfect 10s from everybody. But why is it that they call Souls-likes action RPGs? Why is that what they settled on calling them? Because a lot of action, very little RPG. I don't really see the RPG of it all.
I would disagree a teeny bit. So like, I'll be honest with you. I think that the Dark Souls games and Souls-likes, personally, I think they're probably the best Metroidvanias you can play. And I know
I would disagree with you so hard that you might go blind.
I don't think so, because like they're like, no, think about it. So like you have to beat certain things to go to certain places. You have to unlock new abilities to be able to go through those places. I know it's not a typical Metroidvania, but I think that's kind of what that genre evolved into. So in Japan, they're called, and I talk about this on our YouTube channel. Japan, they're called search action games. So they're not Metroidvanias. So the games are never really designed to copy Metroid Prime or Castlevania Symphony of the Night, sorry.
Sympathy of the Night?
Sympathy of the Night, yeah. Sympathy for the Devil. I really do think if you look at it like search action games, I really think Dark Souls hits that niche, right? In terms of action RPG, I mean, there's a ton of action. I mean, you're constantly in combat.
It's the RPG that I kind of take umbrage with, more or less. Like, just because you're building stats, that doesn't necessarily make it RPG. I don't know.
Right. So, but like historically, that was what defined an RPG, is having abilities that you can pump points into. Rather than, again, I think the video game industry has suffered, and it's a self-inflicted wound from labeling. Like the roguelites, the roguelike, roguelite, Souls-like, Souls-lite. I think that they are kind of putting themselves in a corner that they can't get out of. It's the same thing with indie games. Like, you look at Microsoft. So a Microsoft game, is that an indie game? It's self-published. So I don't know. The labels get kind of hairy, but I think when they say action RPG, it's more talking about having the ability to put stat points into different, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, like different categories that would boost your stats. So I think that's where that comes from. Not so much as the role playing, right? You're always like a nameless character. So I guess you could argue that you're role playing, but to me, like an RPG would be something more of like something has a little more exploration and story behind it, which I know is why you take a lot of umbrage with the series. So
I don't like the storytelling. I think it's garbage.
yeah,
But I'm sorry. I'm probably going to make so many enemies by saying that. But I just like I like to experience aspects of the story. I don't like the way that the Souls games, especially Elden Ring, is so easy to miss stuff. Like I had to have like a guide on my phone open all the time to make sure I'm not missing an optional story beat that they don't call any attention to that I have to like look for. But hey, but also like I think it's funny, like in a world where Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps exist, to say that the Souls-likes are the best Metroidvanias is wild. Because I don't think like those are the gold standards for Metroidvanias to me, and also to a lesser extent. What was that that one from like the original guy behind was it Bloodstained or something like that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Yeah,
that was
Ritual
really
of the
good.
Night. Yeah, that was a good game. I liked that. That reminded me of Sympathy of the Night. Yeah, Symphony of the Night, the Castlevania game.
Right. Well, he did make it, so
I know. That's why it reminded me of it so much.
So, a little bit about me, folks. My favorite genre of video games, next to fighting games, are Metroidvanias. And I'll be real with you. Like, I love Ori and I love Will of the Wisps. I don't think that's the best Metroidvania out there. Like, there are some other indie ones that are just absolute knockouts. Hollow Knight is probably, in my opinion, one of the best 2D Metroidvanias you can get. But I'd like to draw attention to Axiom Verge, which is made by one guy, and I think is a masterpiece. It was basically like a love letter to Metroid Prime. There's a lot of really good. What's that?
Metroid Prime?
Mm-hmm. Or I'm sorry, Super Metroid.
Oh,
Thank
okay,
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I almost got killed by the community. Thank you.
Nintendo sent a cease and desist letter to you.
Yeah, right. They're gonna come after us. No, yeah, Super Metroid. My bad. Yeah, and then I also really like Rusted Moss is a really good one. It's kind of a different take on like the traversal, and there's like different puzzles and stuff. Guacamelee is really great too. So there's a lot of really good options I think that you could get into. I do love Ori. I think my problem with Ori is
you don't like owls.
Like, no. So I think I would say the second one is way better than the first one. And I think and they iterated on a lot of stuff, right? So like a lot of sequels do that, but I think what Ori did in the first one was really good with storytelling. And then in the second one, they did continue that, but I some of the moments didn't have as much impact as the first one did. Like when you lose your companion, and the first one, and that's within like the first 30 seconds. It was great, but yeah, I'll get off my soapbox. But the second one's really good. The second Ori is fantastic, like gameplay wise.
And then I have a quick game I'll bring up too. It was just put on Game Pass, and I downloaded it and started playing it to see if it would be too spooky for me. It was Still Wakes the Deep, I think is what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? It's on Game Pass.
No.
Yeah, it was just put on. It's like let me make sure I'm calling it by the right name. Still Wakes the Deep. So basically, it's like on an offshore oil rig in the 70s, like off the coast of like Scotland. So all the guys are like Scottish dudes on this thing. It's like on Christmas Day when suddenly like they drill into like an eldritch creature's lair, and it like crawls forth and starts like killing everybody.
This looks awesome.
It's very so it's very big on atmosphere, and the characters are really interesting. What a lot of people won't like, especially in the age of like your Baldur's Gate 3s and your Tears of the Kingdom, like a lot of game, and like I guess like Elden Ring too, like Shadow of the Erdtree. All of those emphasize exploration. This one's very on rails. So you really don't have a lot of options. You're just going through like the game, and you can't fight back. Like it's not like this dude on an oil rig is going to fight this monster. You're just trying to survive, and it's very like not a lot of exploration, but it just like in terms of like the amount of effort they put into like the design, it seems like a fun experience so far. I've only just begun, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about games that are on rails. I'm starting to get sick of like games that you have too much choice. Like I don't like The Witcher 3 for that exact reason. There's just too much shit to do. sometimes it's nice to have a 5, 6, 7 hour game that it's like, this is the story we're trying to tell. You're going to play through how we designed you to play it through. And if you don't like it, so what? Right. And I don't know. I kind of like those games now, especially like when as you get older, you don't have as much time to game because life is, changing for a lot of people. So like, I think it's nice having something that's just bite sized that you can put in and, play maybe 2 or 3 days or 4 days.
All right, hear me out.
Whatever. Sure.
On Game Pass, there's another one. It's called Little Kitty Big City. Did I bring this up already?
Okay. No, I know that one.
It's an in and out 15-minute adventure. I mean, not really. It's like a couple hours, but it's a very short game where you're just like a cat wandering around a city in Japan, fell off the windowsill and has to wander around meeting other cats. And I also met a tanuki. You know those like raccoon looking things from Japan?
Yeah.
I ran into a tanuki who's like some kind of, he believes he's an inventor and he can invent a teleportation machine and stuff. He's pretty funny. So it's a silly, it's a very silly game, but it's fun and cute and cat stuff.
So like one thing Stefan and I always talk about, because we're not a video game podcast, I'm sure you've understood that by now.
What?
But we've always like wanted to get into that. So if you want to hear more about that kind of shit from us, let us know, because we will happily shift focus to that too.
Yeah, navigate to one of our social medias, click on a post, maybe the one for this episode, go down to type a comment, take your keyboard, start typing words, and then once you've typed out your comment, hit enter, and then we'll know.
Yep, we'll know. Or you can just text Stefan at 7. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that to you.
I was trying to think if there even was a 7 in my phone number. It's like there is, but not immediately.
No, not immediately.
So, all right. I think we've covered the housekeeping and the video game portion of our stuff. What did you want to move on to next? Do you want to introduce this next thing, or did you want me to do it?
Well, we did pay Dave a little extra. Could he do the intro on the next segment here?
Hold on, let me see if he's here.
I paid him.
Yeah, but he's currently playing Oregon Trail on my Switch because he thought it was Oregon Trail, and I'm like, no, it's not Oregon's.
Have you played Oregon Trail?
Have I?
Yes.
Yeah.
They made a game called Oregon Trail.
Oh no, I haven't played that one. I've heard about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is amazing. It is the best version. It's like the old 90s version of Oregon Trail. Okay. Another thing. We're from Pittsburgh. It's hard to say Oregon, whatever.
Oregon.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's hard for other people in the United States or Canada, which is why they made something called Oregon Trail, which is a zombie themed Oregon Trail. So definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun. I think it was on mobile. I think you played on your phone.
Cool.
So yeah.
So what I do, go to the app store of whatever device I have, click on the search function.
Oh
type
my God.
ORGAN space TRAIL, hit enter, and then see what results come up.
I don't know if you can.
Hold on a second.
Let's see if you can.
Dave, drop the Switch.
No.
All right, hold on. He's coming over. I'm going to let him sit in front of the mic and talk.
Dave had too much screen time.
Yeah, he's no more screen time for you. Do you even have eyes? I don't know. The one image that we had of him, he didn't have eyes, but I think he's like one of those like zombies you can still somehow see, even without eyes.
It's true. But anyways, let's go ahead and introduce the segment, which is R.I.P. to Donald Sutherland.
Wait, I thought we were doing Terrible 20s.
Oh wait, yeah. Okay, cut that out. I forgot about the Terrible 20. Sorry, Dave, you didn't read the showrunner, did you?
No, because I don't have eyes.
Wait, but you just said you could see.
I lied. We are going to do the Terrible 20 questions-esque game, as Shane likes to say, even though it is just 20 questions.
Hey, if Texas Roadhouse and these other places can get sued for singing Happy Birthday, I'm not taking any chances.
He's gone. He went back to continue to play Oregon Trail. He's actually really enjoying it now. I think that one of his guys broke his leg though.
Can ghouls get dysentery?
I doubt it. Because I bet they can. Because one of the things about ghouls is like where they eat flesh, so I'm sure they could. He's not even listening. Jeez, Dave.
Anyways, so we're now on the Terrible 20s,
Terrible
which
20.
is our 20 questions-esque horror-themed version
20 questions like
said game. Yeah, our 20 questions like. That's good.
Oh no.
Yeah, not light, like. 20 questions light would be like 10 questions, but yeah, I think we should just hop right in. So, Stefan, I've got a question for you.
What is it?
Are you ready?
I'm the readiest I've ever been.
Oh, shit. All right, let's kick it off.
All right. Let's get some time period down. Is it an 80s movie?
No.
Is it after the 80s?
Yes.
Is it within the last 10 years?
No.
Is it a 90s movie?
No.
Okay, so it's between 2000 and 2014. So we got a 14-year window. We're doing it. We're cooking with gas now. I should actually probably write down the questions I asked. Hold on. So yeah, not in the 80s. It is after the 80s, and it's not within the last 10 years. Okay. Is it a slasher?
Ooh, no, not in the traditional sense of a slasher.
Oh boy, here we go. Oh wait, and then I forgot to include that I asked about the 90s.
Okay, do I have to explain the slasher comment to you? Because like I'm getting some heat on this werewolf stuff.
You are getting some heat.
Looking at you, Chris.
Yeah. In our group chat, he changed his name to Naturally Occurring Werewolf.
Oh my god, dude! I laughed so hard at that. Honestly, I needed that today, and oh my god. Okay, so like when I say not in the traditional sense, so like to me a slasher film has like a big bad that's like slashing and killing people, right?
Right. Sometimes two, as in the
people,
case
right?
of like Scream.
Yeah. So like people getting killed in the movie does not constitute it being a slasher.
You're correct. That does not.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's a specific formula.
Yes. Okay. Good.
So, but based on what you just said, then I'm guessing, is there any supernatural elements to it?
No.
Okay. Cool. So people die, but not.
So no werewolves.
So no werewolves. Yeah, the no natural occurring werewolves. Cool. Are there any killings committed by animals in it?
No.
No. Is there a serial killer?
No.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a slasher.
Right. For sure.
But no serial killer. Okay. Is there like natural disasters?
No.
People do die in it. And there's nothing supernatural, so no ghosts, no demons, no werewolves. So, man, this is going to be difficult. No animals, no serial killers.
Would you like a hint?
Hold on, just give me a second. I'm thinking.
Okay. I'm just asking.
That's the beauty of editing. You don't have to leave in all of this pensive stuff in if you don't
No,
want to.
I just feel bad. I want you to spin your wheels in the wrong direction.
Nothing supernatural about it. Is there like an illness involved?
No.
Okay, no illness.
I like where your head's at, though. I was going to pick... if you're thinking of the one I was thinking of, I was going to pick that movie. And I chose not to.
I could have been thinking of that. Are the killers a group?
No.
Right. Well, now I'm at 11, I think. Are there any killers then?
Yes.
Okay. That's 12.
Remember, you have a free hint available to you.
Yeah.
I think you should focus on who created or wrote this.
Who created or wrote it?
Yeah.
Is it like, is it from a famous director?
Yeah, I think they're famous, so yes.
Okay, that's a difficult.
But they're not like you would know. I think they're well known.
Is it based?
They're not as popular as Spielberg or like Michael Bay, but I know who this person is.
Yeah, that's not super helpful. So is it based off of like a book?
Yes.
All right. Is it based off of a Stephen King book?
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm narrowing it down. So it isn't going to be Secret Window because that guy's a serial killer. So that one's out.
What?
Isn't the guy from Secret Window a serial killer?
No, I just...
Well, then is it Secret Window?
Yes.
Okay.
He's not a serial... He's a writer, and he goes crazy and kills his soon-to-be ex-wife and her lover. I shouldn't have said anything. Sorry.
Yeah, because I just didn't realize what it was about. I've never seen it.
I'm sure he's going to be a serial killer.
He's not a serial killer? I thought he was a serial killer. That's the whole thing.
No, he has the hallucination. He makes up that fake guy. He has like a psychotic break, and he makes up that character that's played by John Turturro.
Yeah.
And he's like that farmer that like stole his work and stuff.
Okay.
Have you seen this movie?
No.
Okay. I think that I so when you said about the virus or the sickness, were you thinking of cabin fever?
I was thinking about Cabin Fever.
Okay, so I almost picked Cabin Fever. Like literally, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do Cabin Fever. I like that movie.
So
But
how
then I'm
many,
like,
how many did I get that
what's
in?
that?
I'm trying to see how many I got this one in. 16. I think it might be my best yet. But then again, you also kind of showed your hand when I said that he was a serial killer in Secret Window, because I honestly probably never would have guessed it. I was moving towards either the MISC or 1408.
Yeah, you never. If you would have rolled that out, that's why I stopped you. I know. I know that's not how you're supposed to play the game, but it's 20 questions asked, folks. Like, so chill.
It's a 20 questions. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. Secret Window, 2004, directed by David Cope. I never can say his name right. He wrote Jurassic Park with the screenplay. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say Michael Crichton would like a word.
No, not the book. The screenplay, and he did Lost World too. He also did, I believe he did Stir of Echoes, Ghost Town, Mission Impossible. So he's got a lot of stuff. Angel and Demons. He does a lot of book adaptations. It looks like he did the War of the Worlds, stuff like that. So yeah. So Secret Window, great movie, very creepy. Not your typical horror film. You know, I that's why I wanted to pick this one to kind of talk about a little bit, you know, throughout the movie. And I'm going to spoil this for you. You guys have had 20 years now to watch this.
I'm never going to watch
it. Crazy. That's crazy to think about, right? 20 years ago. Anyways,
I'd rather not. Thank you.
So Johnny Depp's character is a successful writer, and he travels to a remote cabin he owns. He's going through a divorce with his wife, obviously. And he is then stalked by someone played by John Turturro, who they call him John Shooter. And throughout the course of the movie, things keep happening to him, like his dog dies and all this stuff. And then it's not revealed until the end of the movie when his wife and her boyfriend or whatever show up, and Shooter is written everywhere, and it's implied that that he came up with the name Shooter to mean shoot her. In the book, Johnny Depp, Mort dies, and his ex-wife and her whatever find him, and like he went crazy up there. In the movie, they changed the ending to where he kills Ted and Amy, which is the wife and the lover, and he buries them in a cornfield because he figures that people aren't going to dig up like rows of corn trying to find these bodies. And then it ends with the police chief telling him he's like the main suspect, and he's like pretty much like, oh, I'll get away with it. So it's a pretty cool ending. I think it's a better ending than the book. We've gone into Stephen King's endings before, but yeah, I think it's definitely worth a watch. It's kind of creepy. It's not, there's some good jump scares, but nothing too bad. So it's definitely more a psychological horror film. I don't know if you'd say horror, but I think it's horror. It's creepy. So yeah,
maybe more thriller, but yeah,
thriller. Thank you. That's good.
Yeah, I like those writers who become caught up in writer nonsense. Those are always fun stories. I recently started finally playing the remaster of the first Alan Wake.
Oh yeah, nice.
Talk about a dude going through some stuff.
Yeah, really.
But I don't think he didn't. Well, actually, I don't know. So where I'm at in the game right now, I don't think he did anything to his wife. I think his wife was kidnapped by a being of his own creation. But I don't know yet. We'll find out. Because they went to like this cabin, and then his wife got like kidnapped by like a thingy, a critter of some sort, it's like an intelligent force, but also evil.
Yeah. So good news for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you like Alan Wake, or good news for anyone, is they have the sequel that is out now, and they also have Control, which is in that same universe. So there's little Easter eggs and stuff kind of like scattered all over that game that deal with Alan Wake and that incident. So a lot of content there for you folks if you like it.
Yeah, isn't the Alan Wake, the whole thing goes on with Alan Wake, something that Control would consider like an altered world event or something? Or like his clicker is like they have like a word for those objects in Control.
Yeah, right. And I won't get too, because I think this is newer. I'm not going to get too into it. I think you should play it if you're interested. But think of it more like they call it the Foundation. And it's kind of like the SCP stuff, if you're into that kind of thing. There's like objects that do things. So check it out. It's really cool. And even if you don't want to play it, there's a ton of people that have played through it, and you could probably watch people go through and play it. So
the one thing I really liked in Control was like whenever you're walking around the offices and they have all those signs, like, is it a stapler or is it an altered item? It's like,
yeah,
it's like items from like other, like that are affected by like interdimensional energy and stuff is super funny.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. It's funny.
But all right, there we go. I somehow managed to get the movie, even though I've never seen it. So I probably wouldn't have gotten it.
Yep.
You tipped your hand and you gave me more of a hint than you wanted to.
Well, dude, you would have spun your wheels. I felt bad.
You shouldn't feel bad.
You
should let me suffer. That's what the terrible 20 is all about. Suffering.
Truth.
Man, look at you wasted perfectly good suffering. Pinhead is going to be so annoyed with you. Does anyone else watch those Hellraiser movies? He's like, no tears, please. Such a waste of good suffering. All right, what are we doing now, Shane? What's next?
We have some bad news again.
Oh no.
Like really bad news. And so we did a memorial on one of our previous intermission episodes, and we have to do that again. Unfortunately, Donald Sutherland has passed.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and if eagle-eared listeners of our original episodes, we did a trivia question. I think it was from Don't Look Now.
It was.
And you brought up the scene where he thinks it's his daughter, and it's kind of a good
yeah,
jump
it's
scare,
like
so.
it's a murderous dwarf in a red raincoat. Very, very scary scene. That scene scared me so much when I saw it. I first watched that movie when I was like in high school or whatever. That scene chilled my blood.
Yeah, so it sucks. He's been part of other. I mean, geez, you want to talk about someone that's been busy their whole life? I mean, we could probably spend an hour going through all of his works. I mean, there's just tons of them. I think his first credited film, he was in a TV series for an episode. It looks like a couple of pilots, but I mean, he started working in the early 60s, so he's been doing a ton over. He's in Dr. Terror's House of Horrors.
He is, yeah. I saw that. I was going to bring that up because I was putting together.
Oh my God, is he young?
A list. It was a long time ago. I was putting together a list of like maybe top 3 or something. We didn't want to do like a full thing like we did with Roger Corman. And I was going to do an honorable mention to Dr. Terror's House of Horrors only because of the trivia question. I've not seen it yet. I would like to see it, but I have not gotten to see it yet. But then I put together my top 3 of his movies, in my opinion, or at least my favorite 3. I guess not really top 3 because I'm sure that a case can be made for any of his movies to be top. But you want me to go through them?
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, Don't Look Now. It's top of the list for me. Love that thing. Super good movie. I don't know if that's streaming anyway. I probably should have looked to see if these were streaming before I started this segment. And I had plenty of time to do it while I was hemming and hawing during the terrible 20. Here we go. TV Time app. Save me. No, not Don't Look Up. Don't Look Now. Says Amazon Prime, but we all know what that means.
Yep.
Pluto TV, Criterion Channel. Pluto TV is probably the best bet. Canopy. But then again, you never know with like the Amazon Prime, because I remember I was talking last time about Madman, the next movie we're going to be doing as part of the Summer Tri-Slash-a-thon, and Madman says Amazon Prime, but I was like, but there's no way it actually is. It's like, oh, it is, because Freevee, it's part of Freevee, and Freevee is free on Amazon Prime, so you actually can watch Madman there. So I was like, whoops. Oh yeah, but my number 2 then for Donald Sutherland is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 version. Probably one of the most famous scenes is him pointing whenever he realizes that she's human and he's not. Yeah. Super cool. And then my number 3 I put down was the Salem's Lot miniseries from 2004.
Yeah.
Where he plays.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was good he plays Straker, Barlow's familiar in that one. I doubt that that's streaming anywhere because I feel like the miniseries from that era just kind of like vanished off the face of the earth. But I think Ben Mears in that, I think was played by Rob Lowe, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rob Lowe played Ben Mears. Barlow, the vampire, was played by Rutger Hauer. Andre Brower was a character in it. R.I.P. to another real one. James Cromwell played Father Callahan. That was a very good miniseries. Now I want to see if it is streaming anywhere. Like, come on, internet, don't let me down.
So while you're looking, I had a couple honorable mentions that I wanted to bring up.
Do it.
Just some weird ones. Did you find it?
It said not available, and all of my. Did you hear? You probably
Bummer.
heard the sound of all my dreams crashing down.
Yeah. I heard you're just psyche shattering.
Yeah, like I just got really, really sad. I'm gonna see. Go ahead and bring up your honorable mentions while I look up Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because surely that has got to be somewhere.
So he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not the television show, the movie that preceded the show, and that actually turned into. So Joss Whedon did write that, and that turned into the television series. He was in one of my favorite movies from the 90s, and I think a super underrated horror movie, thriller, is Fallen. And that's with Denzel Washington, obviously Donald Sutherland, and John Goodman. Such a good movie. It's about demonic possessions.
Yeah, the demon sings "Time is on my side." That's how you know when he's jumped from one person to another.
Yeah, and I think Peter Maloney's in it too. I think he's one of the killers at one point. No, damn it. It's Elias the Codius or Coates. How do you say his name?
Codius, I think.
The one that played Shredder. That I can never get those two. I always think they're the same person. Anyways, and then the last one that's near and dear to my heart is Beer Fest, where he plays the old man. That was the son of a maid that slept with the family and stole the recipe. So
yeah, that was a pretty funny one. I saw somebody posted the an Instagram reel of that, but they cut it off right before the end where he like unplugs himself. And someone's like, why'd you stop it before the end of the scene? He's like, I felt like it'd be distasteful to show him dying now that he's actually dead. Yeah,
really.
It's like, you know what? You're right, dude. That might not be the vibe you're going for.
Solid choice.
Oh, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, it looks like it's kind of rough for that one. Amazon Prime, obviously, so your mileage may vary on that. Hoopla, Fios on Demand, Xfinity Stream, and then it says YouTube. I'm guessing you have to pay for it there. So yeah, I don't know that it's available for free anywhere. I'm going to check Amazon Prime to see if it is free, but I wouldn't hold my breath. So there you go. Donald Sutherland, also President Snow from the Hunger Games is.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's what a lot of young people know him for nowadays. Their Hungry Games. All right. Do you have anything else to talk about for Donald Sutherland? I feel like it's kind of a slim tribute, but he wasn't really a horror actor. He just had some solid horror appearances.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard to, because he's in he has 199 credited, one upcoming in Heartland, some pre-production, so I don't know if it's actually going to release, but to hit over 150 on IMDb is pretty wild. He's at 199. So, yeah.
All right. In memoriam, Donald Sutherland.
R.I.P. to a real one.
R.I.P. to a real one. Well, you know what that means. It's time for me to surprise you with my bit of the episode.
Hell yeah.
All right. Are you ready for it?
Sure.
This is actually going to be a recurring one. It can come up again. This isn't just
what?
It's not like you spinning me right round, baby, right round, like record, baby, right round, round, round. Because that one was specific for those two Spider movies of 2024.
Okay. I'm here for this.
Wait, my new one. This one. All right, ready? It's called
Yes.
That's a lot of guts.
Do you get the reference?
Why?
From Kung Pao.
Oh my god!
When he orders the nuts, it's like, that's a lot of nuts.
Didn't I? I think I just sent that to you, didn't I? I was joking. I sent it to Lula.
You didn't send it to me, no. But
I sent it to Lula the other day because we always joked about it.
Yeah, McMurray references that's a lot of nuts from Kung Pao a lot, so it was in my mind. So
that's funny.
But instead, I'm doing that's a lot of guts. And this is a segment where I'm going to talk about slasher movies, recent slasher movies, because you got me in the slasher mood by doing Summer Try Slashathon. So I actually watched a couple of recent ones.
Nice.
The first one, the less recent one, but still within the last year, it was the end of 2023. I actually watched Eli Roth's Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. I'm excited. I wanted to see this, but we went into this a little bit last time. I'll let you go. Good. Excited.
Okay. I mean, I just was going to talk about it. Like, so obviously it's based off of, for the Grindhouse movies, that Quentin Tarantino,
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez project. A bunch of filmmakers did their own like trailers for fake, horror movies, Grindhouse horror movies. Thanksgiving was probably one of the better ones. Is like had that really grainy quality to it, and the voiceover guy kept going like, Thanksgiving. It's like, this year I'm going to carve up a person instead of a turkey. I don't know. It's not really what he said, but that was like the kind of voice he
Holy
had.
shit. If I would have closed my eyes,
You would have thought you were right there.
I would have been right there.
Yeah. So I actually
2006 or 7 all over again.
Well,
or 9, whatever year.
Yeah, years are hard. But yeah, so the thing about it is I actually avoided it for a long time. Because I just didn't like that he went with like the modern approach. Like I thought it was going to be like grainy, like the kind of like on video feel that the trailer had, but instead it was more like a sleek, like modern movie. So I didn't really like that. I thought the aesthetic was a big part of it. But eventually, friend of the show, my friend Ben, he told me, he like asked me if I'd seen it, and since it was on Netflix, told me to watch it. So glad I did. Super cool. Really, some really gruesome kills in it. And it just like has that whole throwback to like holiday themed slasher movies that you don't really get. It doesn't take itself too seriously. The twist is kind of like over the top and crazy, like the reason that the killer's killing people. But like there's 2 specific, like really gruesome deaths. The one was where this girl is like caught by the killer, and then like 2 of her friends show up to try to like save her, and the one kid has a gun that he had just bought for protection from the killer. The killer who's dressed like John Carver, because it all takes place in Plymouth, Massachusetts. I don't know, does Plymouth really have like this much of a Thanksgiving thing going on? Probably. I mean, that's all it really has going for it, I guess. But so like the killer is dressed as John Carver, and the kid who has the gun like goes to try to shoot him, and then doesn't realize his safety's on. So when he like looks to turn the safety off, the killer turns on a table saw and just throws the girl onto it, and it like cuts her fingers off at first, then she like falls on it, and it like slices up her abdomen, and then she like the guts thing of my title comes true. There is a lot of guts. And then like her boyfriend is the one who had the gun. He's like holding her. He's like, what do I do? It's like, buddy, I think it's done. She's done. Like, it was just such a gruesome kill that I did not expect it to go there. I mean, the kills were pretty gruesome all the way around. It's Eli Roth. The dude's a pretty sick guy. We've seen Green Inferno. We know. So, and then another kill that I thought was particularly gruesome is, so like one of the characters is like, so the inciting incident for this, which is kind of part of like the black comedy / over the top social commentary of it, is there's some of the kids get into a store early because the one girl's family owns this like Walmart like store. It's, I can't remember the name of it, but since they get in early, it causes like a panic outside where people think they aren't being let in, so they like stampede, and there's like this massacre where several people are killed trying to get into a store on Thanksgiving night, like a Black Friday style thing. So that's the incident that like then everyone who's being killed is somehow either involved in that thing or was one of like the kids who caused it by going in the store early because her family owns the store. So that was like the inciting incident, which is part of what's funny about it. But like, yeah, that girl has like a stepmother who's like really annoying and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, I bet she's going to get some kind of, gruesome death comeuppance because that's how Eli Roth works. But man, he outdid herself, because what happened is the killer takes her and puts her in the oven to cook her.
Oh my!
And
God.
they actually show like her like trying to keep her feet off of the hot parts of the oven as it's heating up. That is a gruesome scene. I was not ready for it at all. And then the twist, I won't say who the killer is because this is a more recent movie. I want to give more people time to do it. But the reason the killer does it is just like, all right, you like they do the typical thing, like you have a couple candidates, a possible red herring who could be the killer. And then who the killer is, I did not call it. I'll be honest. Like looking back, it makes sense because the killer wasn't present during a lot of things. But it was just like a very fun twist who the killer ends up being. Although I guess based on who is in the cast, you could probably figure it out because there's one character that's like, why is this guy playing this character? It's like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out on Netflix. Super good. Oh, and there's another, okay, hold on. There's another bit in it that relates to Intruder. So like the store is having the Black Friday sale again, even though there's a stampede, like a massacre last time, all those people dying. And the one of the people who gets killed is like sliced in half. And then the killer drops the half of the body on like the sign on the top of the store. And it's right next to a sign that says half off. So there you go. Just like an Intruder.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a super fun movie, very gruesome, but very, very funny. Like it's kind of like has a sense of humor about it, so you don't get too worked up about the gruesome kills. But then there's another one. You ready for the second movie of That's a Lot of Guts?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I asked you a question. That wasn't rhetorical.
Yeah, okay, well, kind of rhetorical.
Are you ready for the second movie of That's a Lot of Guts?
I'm totally ready.
Yeah, that's the spirit. That's the stuff. This one, I went...
Give me them guts.
Yeah! All right, so the next one, I went all the way to the movie theater for this one. So this one's very fresh.
In public?
Yeah,
in the meat space?
In the meat space. I went all the way down to the waterfront theater because it wasn't playing at any of the nearby theaters to me. I had to go all the way down to the waterfront, to the AMC down there. And let me tell you, good movie. Maybe not for everybody, but it's a little slasher movie we in the biz like to call In a Violent Nature.
Ooh.
That was the one that was like making like there's a lot of buzz about it for being a slasher movie that follows the point of view of like the slasher for the most part instead of like the victims. I went with friend of the show McMurray and his wife Steph. So we went there and we got to see this movie in the real space. And let me tell you, I was among my people because one of the dudes who was like sitting in a row behind us was like wearing a Dawn of the Dead shirt. And when we went in, he was like reading a book. He's like, yeah, look at this nerd. You're just like, I feel you. This is something, if I was going alone, I might have brought, I might have brought a book of my own. Who knows? I've done it before. So yeah, that guy was like cool. I interact with him because the line very AMC Lowe's, let me tell you, very understaffed. They only had like one thing open for food and like the line was huge. So it took till like the very start of the movie to actually get, concessions. So definitely a struggling theater, but who cares? I got to watch a dude murder some people. And let me tell you, it's so interesting. So what I was saying that some of the people won't like it because it is a very slow burn. There is like a long period of time of just the killer walking. And what it'll show is just the killer walking for a while. And it'll cut, and now he's in a different part of the forest walking for a few minutes. And you'll see like time passing, like the sun's going down, now it's dark. And I was like wondering why they did that. Like, why are they these long scenes of the killer just walking? And I realized that partway through, it's actually a really smart exercise. It's like the full length of a regular slasher movie. But the scenes where we're following the killer are the scenes where our human, like ordinarily the human protagonists, are doing their thing. Like we're doing the character development phase of the movie. But because this movie's following the killer, we don't get that. We just see him walking through the woods. It's actually a very smart way to do it. So like it's so focused on him so the inciting incident is there's like this old fire tower and there's a locket there. And the locket's like on a post in the ground. And you hear these guys talking, but you don't see them because it's focused on the locket. And they're talking about, what's this thing doing here? It's like, I don't know. It's probably here because it's commemorating something. It's like, just leave it alone. And like the guys are like, the one guy wants to take it. The other guys are trying to convince him not to. And then, it's as they go to walk away, you can hear the footsteps receding. One of the guys had stayed behind and he ends up grabbing the locket. But instead of following these guys, we still never saw them. We hear the footsteps walk away and then suddenly the ground starts to disturb and out of the ground comes the killer. awakened by this.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so cool. And then he's just on a quest to find his locket. And like some of the stuff about it, like you make jokes like, hey, oh man, in a horror movie, like, do they even have peripheral vision? They don't even see this dude walking around behind them and stuff like that. It's like, how does the killer suddenly come upon them like that? And they do a couple scenes like that where the killer's literally walking up to like a park ranger in a like a local poacher, literally walking up to them. If they just turn their head, they'll see him, but they never do. It's so funny. And like, at first I was like, maybe this isn't going to be that gruesome, even though I'd heard that there's some gruesome kills, because the first kill, we don't actually see it. We see the aftermath of it later. We don't see the kill. But let me tell you, there are some gruesome kills in this thing. Because it is only in theaters right now, I think it's a Shudder film, so it will be coming to Shudder, the streaming service, probably soon, now that once its theatrical run is over. But there's so many really like well thought out scenes throughout it. Like, so whenever like we do have a situation where the killer's just standing there listening to what would be our human protagonist sitting around the campfire, telling the story of Johnny, the killer's name is Johnny, of his origin. So one of the kids is like, yeah, my uncle was a park ranger and he knew the story about what happened to Johnny. So you get the same kind of lore dumps, but then you also get like them referencing, hey, you know, what about those gas station girls? I bet you want to go meet up with them. That's why you're leaving the cabin in the middle of the night. So like you get the idea that they already were doing a full slasher movie, like interacting with locals, maybe getting some of the lore, but we didn't see it because we were too busy walking in the woods with Johnny.
Right.
So, but then like they do like a campfire selfie and Johnny's in the background of it. Kind of, you can barely see him, but he's back there. And then later on, two of the characters are like arguing. And one of them's like, it's like, we saw the guy standing in the background. And it's like, come on, that was just shadows. It was just the woods, you know? So like they were already like off screen to us arguing about this guy in the forest. So all the regular slasher beats are happening. We're just not following that. We're seeing it all from like what Johnny's up to as he starts like picking them off one by one. Yeah, it's awesome. There's like a couple of really gruesome kills. There's like a fun bit with like this park ranger who knows the lore and stuff like that. And it's like almost implied that this is maybe like the third, like if this were a Friday the 13th, this would be maybe like the third or fourth movie, or maybe even like the Jason Comes Back from the Dead one, like one of the latter entries. Like there's already people who've like fought Johnny before. This has all been like people have survived his onslaught in the past, you know? So really so interesting movie.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'm going to put it on my list. So when it comes out, I can grab it.
Yeah. I have to imagine it'll be coming to Shudder soon. Because yeah, like I said, it is a Shudder movie, like it has the Shudder logo on it. So, yeah, like I said, I think that it might be challenging for people who want a faster moving movie, but I think that just the project that it's doing, what it's doing is so smart and like, and it really plays up on that shorthand of a slasher movie. Like we know the tropes, we know the kinds of things that happen. Like somebody does something stupid, disturbs his killer, and like the people are slowly discovering that there's like a killer about, they're not quite able to figure it out. It's just really interesting stuff. The way that it plays with the tropes and kind of uses a lot of shorthand to make a lot of with like kind of a minimalist story. So
nice.
Yeah. In a Violent Nature, check it out. That's been my segment.
That's a lot of guts.
Not as good as the spider one, I guess, because it's not as long.
No,
but there's still
I
a
can't
lot.
Wait.
That's a lot of guts
ideas.
For sure.
I have some ideas for this.
For what? For
that's a lot of guts.
That's a lot of guts.
That's a lot of guts.
All right. So that was my segment that I planned for this. That's all I really had for that.
Awesome. Love it.
Well, what are we doing next, Shane? Do you remember?
Yeah. This is another like RIP segment. And we haven't done this in a couple weeks just because typically the movies don't change every week. So we are going to go through the obituaries on Tubi. So
what's leaving soon? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, granted, some of these things have come up on Leaving Soon before and they've stayed. So it is possible that they will remain, but you can't count on that. So what it says
Or they
is
leave and come right back.
yeah, you've said before it's probably licensing stuff, but so do you just want me to go through the list? I'll just like list off ones that look interesting to me because there's a lot of horror movies leaving. It's devastating.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to explain something really quick too. Earlier when I said an absolute devastation to the nation of Brazil, and I feel like people don't know what I'm referencing, and I probably should explain it because I don't just like hate on Brazil for no reason. That's silly. What I'm saying that for is, remember the 2014 World Cup when Germany like went like what 7-1 against Brazil in Brazil?
We
it was
watched it.
Unheard of. Yeah. So the reason I say it is because the British announcers for that game were acting like Brazil, the country, was collapsing because they were just being beaten. Like I understand, like soccer, football as they call it, is important to them. But like the way he talked about it, it's like, oh, this is an absolute devastation to the nation of Brazil. And it was like showing all the people, like the Brazilian people in the crowd crying and stuff. I'm like, you'd think that their government collapsed, like their country collapsed. It was so crazy the way the guys are talking about it. Like their entire like country was destroyed by it. It was just, that was what was like funny about it to me. And that's why I say that still. So yeah, 10 years later, I'm still saying that.
I think the games were in South Africa, right? That was the big with the Vuvuzelas.
No. The 2014 one.
That was the one before.
No, the
2010 was Vuvuzelas.
Yeah, 2014 was in Brazil. And that was why it was a big deal, because I think that whenever it's been held in the Western Hemisphere, Brazil's never lost. Wasn't that part of it?
Yeah, and then so just we watched pretty much all of these games, and we were, after the US got knocked out, we were full. This was what was our goalie's name? The guy, and he did all his crazy saves for the U.S.
Oh, Timothy.
Yeah, Tim. Oh my God. Anyways, we obviously shifted to Germany, which is our number 2 team, and
it's my number 1 team.
We watched them tear through like countless teams, and I think they were playing Argentina. Or it could have been Brazil. And I'm like, man, they don't even have their best player on the field. And you're like, what? I'm like, yeah, they don't have Mario Götze playing. He's on the bench. He's like one of the best strikers in the world right now. And I shit you not, they subbed him in. He scored like 2 goals right away. You're like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
Just rubbing dirt in their eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, because up until they put him in, their main striker was Bastian
Schweinsteiger.
Schweinsteiger. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah, for sure. But wait, okay. I just want to explain why I said that, though. We're not here to talk. This is not a World Cup.
I could talk
podcast.
Deutsche football for hours. So let's get off that one. Yeah, the Bundesliga. Yeah, I'm a Bayern Munich fan.
Yeah, I mean everybody is. Come on. What do you think is special?
Yeah.
What, and then the Premier League, losers. You like the Manchester United too?
You know, I used to love Man U. That was like my team. But a lot of that had to do with Eurotrip from the movie. And Vinnie Jones, because I love Vinnie Jones. So like, because he was in that. Do you remember that from when they go to the pub and they're like, what's the theme song? And they sing that song.
I remember Eurotrip vaguely. I don't think I've seen it since I was like in high school though.
Yeah. But, no, I like all the Premier teams now. I think it's a little less, interesting to me with, cause it's been the same teams a lot. I love their relegation. We're done. We're not talking about this.
Yeah, I kind of regret this. But I mean, I'm sure that there's probably people out there that really like this idea because Ted Lasso exists.
Then let us know. Text Stefan.
Text me.
Tell him you want a football Bundesliga podcast.
Go to our socials. Click one of the posts. Go to comment. Use your keyboard. Type a series of words. Punctuation. Then scroll down. Click. Post. And then we'll see it. So.
Just at us and David Beckham repeatedly, and then we'll know.
Yeah, that's how you'll know. All right, so back to the real thing. That was a huge tangent just because I wanted to explain why I sounded like I was bullying Brazil earlier, because I wasn't. It was just because of the 2014 World Cup. And then I remember that was 10 years ago, and then my back started to hurt. All right, but yeah, the leaving soon. So we have till the end of the month of June. So it'll be a couple days after this episode goes live. So run, don't walk to your Tubi application, and if any of these movies interest you, because you don't got long. All right, there's a lot, so just stay seated. Put up your dogs, but have a lean back and listen up. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Beyond Reanimator, Alone in the Dark, the video game adaptation with Christian Slater, Wishmaster 2, also Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell, Waxwork.
And Wishmaster, the first one.
Is the first one also gone? I didn't even see it on here, but okay.
Yep.
They put it in a weird order on my app, so some of them are going to be like part of the same series, but I'm not going to be... I'll find them later. Waxwork, also Waxwork 2, Hellraiser Judgment, Marvel's Man-Thing, which I think was a Sci-Fi Channel original movie. That's interesting that was on here. The Gate, one of the movies we did, so RIP to The Gate. But that's been gone before and it's come back, so I'm gonna, hope springs eternal.
For sure.
Sometimes they come back for more. Warlock 2, The Armageddon, The Lair of the White Worm. And again, this isn't the first time The Lair of the White Worm has been on the chopping block, because I always tell you whenever it comes back, it's like, oh, good, now we can do it for the podcast. Like, maybe we won't be able to. We'll find out. 2001 Maniacs, Hellraiser Revelations. If you're a fan of Rob Zombie, Lords of Salem, The Dentist, another movie from us, dude. Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College. Chud 2, Bud the Chud. Not a huge loss. That's fine. Warlock 3, The End of Innocence. Slaughter High, which I'm kind of bummed about. Slaughter High, I was just watching it the other day. I was like, man, this would have been a good one to do for Summer Try Slashathon if we hadn't already planned our 3 movies well in advance this time. A David Cronenberg movie, Shivers, that's out of here. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out, and Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation. Both of those are gone. Gonzilla. No Malone. I don't know what that is, but I'm kind of interested in it. The Substitute, and a bunch of substitutes, so we'll see more as I scroll through. Oh no, you're right. Here's the first Wishmaster. That's fine. Honestly, have you ever seen Wishmaster? Have I talked about how tenuous he used the word wish? Like someone was like, oh man, I would really like to do this. It's like, aha, it counts as a wish. I'm going to kill you now. Like, all right, chill, you Jin. Gothic, which is kind of an interesting movie. What?
I'm kidding.
Big Gothic fan?
Watch the hard D's.
Jin. Oh, because, what? Oh, yeah, okay. It's not an offensive term. Another Robert Zombie film, 31. The Imitation Game. That's not a horror movie, but it's just a good movie with Benedict Cumberbatch. Eden Lake, which, let me tell you, man, Eden Lake is such a disturbing movie. I don't know that I could recommend it. It's kind of, it's a tough one to get through.
Sure is.
Yeah, where are we at? No Vacancy. Oh no, the Tekken movie. I didn't even realize there was one. Tekken's out. Hatchet. Battle Royale. The Barons. The Black Waters of Ghost Pond. Oh, of Echoes Pond. Sorry. Hey, I don't know how to read. What else we got here? Compliance. The Master. Oh no, another Wishmaster, The Prophecy Fulfilled. That looks like a ladder one. I didn't even know it existed. Horns. It's like a ladder Daniel Radcliffe effort. It's pretty interesting. Feast. The Substitute 2. Martyrs. Talk about a disturbing movie. You ever seen Martyrs?
No.
That's like a extreme, like one of those French extreme horror movies. Again, can't really recommend it. A lot of torturing, a lot of really depraved violence in that thing. Ginger Snaps 2. Oh no, does that mean that Ginger Snaps is also going to be gone? I really like Ginger Snaps. Dead End. The Dead. It's a zombie movie. May. Viral. Only God Forgives. Dead or Alive, the movie, which is not a very good movie. But also Dead or Alive is not a very good fighting series, so it's kind of what it deserves.
Well,
we can have that debate another time.
We certainly can.
Coriolanus, the Ralph Fiennes like modern version of a Shakespeare thing. I actually really like Coriolanus. I do recommend that if you're you have even a passing interest in Shakespeare adaptations, that's a really interesting take for sure. He has a particular speech in it that I think is really good and the way they do it is very interesting. Have you ever seen Coriolanus?
No.
He does this one. There's like a speech that he gives to like rioting people. And it's like, what would you have, you curs who want neither peace nor war? The one affrights you and the other one makes you proud. It's like a really interesting speech. And the way he does it is like in a modern military outfit, but in like talking to modern people who are having the riot. Very interesting interpretation of that. So recommend. Oh no, another one, Dagon, a Stuart Gordon one.
Yeah.
But R.I.P. to Dagon.
I couldn't believe that. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, now that is
I'm putting that on my list now.
You watch it. Yeah, it's a really interesting. It's so funny. The name of the town is Inboca, which just means Innsmouth. It's like their version of Innsmouth, but it's in Spain instead of New England. Lake Mungo, which is a really good movie. Like I'd add that to your list too if you like found footage or the Tooth Fairy, Sharktopus. Oh no, Sharktopus, why? The Substitute 3, that's the one with Treat Williams. I think Substitute 2 might also have Treat Williams. So, and also RIP to him. Oh, another French extreme movie, High Tension. If you've ever seen that one. I think I have that one on DVD. Let me see. Dead Space Aftermath. What else do we got?
So both of the Dead Space animated movies are leaving.
Okay.
If you haven't seen those, they're actually very well done. So if you like animated,
throw it on the list.
It really gives some color to what's going on in the games. So I highly recommend them if you have time.
Oh no, Warrior Queen is leaving. I have a thing for those old like sword and sorcery things, like those sword and sandals epic. I don't know what you'd call them, but yeah, I like those movies. That's too bad that's leaving. I like those fantasy movies from the 80s. Sorority Party Massacre, the Levenger tapes. Is this Battle Royale again? Didn't I already say Battle Royale? Are there two versions of it? Where are we? Cheerleader Ninjas. Really, really important one. This one says Twister, but it's not that one, so I don't know what Twister that is.
Kind of makes you want to watch it.
Yeah, now I'm curious, yeah. Devil May Call, Dr. T and the Women. There's a Family Guy joke about that. That's why I brought that one up. Boy Eats Girl. Oh, King Cobra, no. Man, how much is leaving? They're just like hemorrhaging content this month. Lost Legion, Devil's Den. It Waits. I had It Waits on DVD at one point, so that was a different time in my life. Deadly Betrayal. I don't know what that is, but it has a knife on it. The Demolitionist. The Burrowers. That's a fun little movie. I have to add that to my list. I'm gonna have to try to watch all of these in the next week as they leave. Ginger Snaps Back the Beginning, which is the third Ginger Snaps, but then it goes like way back in time. It's like a period piece kind of thing. Good Night Mommy. If you're familiar with that one, that's a pretty disturbing. I think it's a German horror film. It's like where these kids, their mother goes for like a surgery, like a plastic surgery, and she comes back and her like face is all bandaged, and the boys don't believe it's their mom. They believe she's been replaced by an imposter. So it's like if you want to watch a movie with little kids doing messed up stuff to who they think is a fake mom, that's the one. Scream of the Banshee, that seems fun. Cyborg Cop. Oh no, Dino Croc versus Super Gator. We'll never know who is truly the better reptile. Blood Surf, Class of 1999, Wolf Moon, Mothman, but I don't know about that one. Oh no, Sometimes They Come Back Again. Oh no, does that mean the regular Sometimes They Come Back is also going to be gone, Shane? Say it ain't so. Black Sheep. That's the one about the sheep that eat people. If you were wondering. Curse of the Blair Witch. Children of the Corn Genesis. Talk about Children of the Corn, man. What a series of like just diminishing returns. Death Watch. The Dentist too. So yeah, if you were worried about that one. Night Wolf, Buried Alive. Night of the Living Dead Resurrection, which is like because of Night of the Living Dead being being like public domain, people can just like make unauthorized sequels to it. Diary of the Dead, which not everyone's favorite George Romero, but I like it. I think it does a lot. Demon Hunter, Dino Shark. Oh man, I feel like I'm going on too long. There's so many. Cecil B. Demented, The Children, The Grudge 2, Mongolian Deathworm. Oh no, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, Toy Maker, Trailer Park of Terror, Dread. Oh, I think Dread is based off of a Clive Barker story. It's a really interesting story. The Terror Experiment, kind of funny because that's kind of what Dread is an experiment in scaring people. Now I'm starting to see some repeats, so we might be done. Dead and Deader. Oh, Fido, the one about like the zombie that's like kept as like a pet. Zombie Diaries 2, Husk, Laid to Rest, Catacombs, A Vampire's Tale, The Thirst. Why are there so many movies leaving? There's not enough time in the day. Yeah, and I think that's it. There's a couple other interesting ones. I was mostly going through the horror movies and then just stuff that, caught my eye. There's a couple of like martial arts looking ones, Brotherhood of Blades, Sword Identity, Warlords. All of those are leaving. So a lot of stuff leaving Tubi is kind of what I'm getting at. So get on there and watch it. And maybe if everyone watches it, Shane, they won't take it away. They won't take away my sometimes they come back again and sometimes they come back ellipses for more.
They might still go.
But here's the thing, they might come back because sometimes they do. Shane, sometimes they come back. Well, that's all I had for Nice. Good work. You just wait until I started talking again to do it. Like, man, good work. Hoisted by my own petard. All right. But that's all I had for the Tubi, what's leaving. So get on the Tubi. So what you want to do is you want to go to your device of choice, and use the arrows to go to the Tubi application. Hit
your Nexus Lexus.
Hit the enter button or whatever it is. Scroll to leaving soon, and then look for things that look cool on there, and then hit the enter button, and then hit play, and then it'll begin to play. There you go. Those are the instructions on how to operate Tubi. One last thing I wanted to do, as always, is shout out to Rebel Revolver for our theme song. It's super good, and you can find them on streaming platforms. I have them on my Spotify, so whatever your application of choice is, you'll be able to find them. Check out their socials for upcoming shows and events.
Yeah, and also drummer from Rebel Revolver, PC Rowley, has written a compilation of, I think, definitely poems, short story essays called It All Comes Out in the Wash. You can find that on Amazon. It's digital now, so if you don't want to buy a paper copy, you can certainly download it. And half of the proceeds go to the Humane Society in Pittsburgh to help rescue animals. So definitely a good cause. Check it out. Yeah, and it seems like I'm trying to think of anything else with the book. I think if we could talk him into letting us do audio recordings for him, like, Darkside Dave reading a few poems, but I think they're a little more personal to him. So I'm just
that's
kidding.
Not the, I don't think that's the project.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so it was a passion project that was kind of trying to think of a good word to say. Like, I think he did this undertaking after the passing of his cat. So it's really personal to him, and he put a lot of time and effort into it. So definitely give it a look.
Yeah, buy it. Because half the proceeds go to a good cause. So what are you doing?
Yep. Okay, so on a lighter note, Netscape was what I was thinking of. I couldn't remember it was Netscape.
Wow, stop the presses. We figured out what web browser Shane was thinking of. Jeez.
Whatever.
It is a web browser though, isn't it?
Whatever. I'm not answering.
How about you click
not
on
your Game Boy
Mozilla Firefox? What? Angus Grimm is here. He said I don't play a pretty good Game Boy. All right, well then I guess it's time for us to do the outro, right? Let me see what Darkside Dave is doing.
Did you get cholera yet?
No. He actually switched. He's now playing Pokemon Scarlet. But he told me he doesn't really like the open world design. He liked it better when he could go in buildings. Dave, you can I have what is it? Shining Pearl, which is like just a remake of an older Pokemon game.
Good, I want to play that instead.
Well, no, first you have to come and do the outro for us.
No.
All right, he's on his way.
All right. Anytime now, Dave.
I don't operate on your schedule. I operate on a extra planar schedule. Time is meaningless in the great void beyond. Anyways, this has been an episode of the Darkside Drive-In Intermission. So enjoy the rest of your evening. It is very hot outside if you're in the western Pennsylvania area due to a heat wave. So more than ever, it's important to stay cooled and stay gooled. Whoa. All right, bye.
Thanks, Dave. Here, I'll let you play this Pokemon Shining Pearl. You've earned it.
Yes, I will challenge Agatha of the Elite Four.
That's not the one. That's the wrong one. That's the Ghost Leader from Red and Blue.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like not only is time meaningless to Darkside Dave, but so are Pokemon generations. All right, there you go. This has been the Darkside Drive-In Intermission. I've been Stefan.
Shane.
All right.
I'm trying not to laugh so hard. I had to mute.
All right. Well, on that note, bye. Spook 'em up.
Bye.
He thought he was in control. How wrong he was.
Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in. Come to the dark side, drive-in. It's the dark side, drive-in movie club. From Dynamics Media comes a horror cyclopedia, watching movies from the gates of hell. Covers ripped from a blockbuster shelf. Officer Bosch is the only good cop. Jugs and the stuff just can't be stopped. Things get hairy and the werewolf's there. Turn the corner and the prowler is there. It's the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club. Shane's the one who runs the show. He produces and keeps the flow. The Savini of the ones and twos. Only Jack Cordell has bigger shoes. Stefan does the bulk of the research. His descriptions just can't be besmirched. Lots of synopses are the top of lore. Just like Lamson, you'll be begging for more. It's the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club.
From the deepest corner of the darkest universe, two brave hosts battle through nameless hordes of ghoulish monsters most foul, all to bring you the eternal glory of the Darkside Drive-In.
It's the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club. It's the dark side drive-in. Come to the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in. It's the dark side drive-in movie club.
Thank you. Have a nice